Good morning, and it's very nice, just above freezing, a bit crispy out in the country underfoot, but after all that rain, it's what we need. It is getting very boggy everywhere. As it was a nice morning, I thought I'd have a wander out to one of my permission locations. I haven't been here for, I don't know, 6 months, 9 months. So yeah, it was time to return. If I turn you round, I don't know quite how well you'll see, got sun in my eyes and whatever. Some of you will make out the farm just behind me. That's where I've parked. And if I turn this way, oh, loads of sun. Just got to walk along this track, and we're going to that woodland. I'll film some when I get there. Right, the public footpath is over there, crossing the bridge. It continues up that way. But we've made a slight detour alongside the pond. And we're going in here. Although it does look really boggy. And I haven't really got the right footwear. I was banking on it be a little bit more crispy. Never mind, I just have to pick my way. Well, that's running quite well this morning. We have had a lot of rain though. Well, I was going to film a bit more of the walking in the first bit, but it was so muddy underfoot. I had a job just standing up. It's not so bad here. It's a bit more of a high spot here, so the water's draining away. It was summer last time I was in here, I think. It looks so much different with all the leaves gone. I don't know whether I'll find any changes. I don't think they do a lot in here, maintenance wise. The odd bit of tidying. There was a camp in here where someone had set up a sort of semi-permanent camp over to the right there somewhere. I'll see if I can spot that. If it's still there, it might have been taken down. I don't know whether it's done with permission or just someone sneaking in. Is it gone? It was here somewhere. Oh no. Looking a bit worse for wear though. I don't think that's used very often. And that tree, that was standing last time. That's obviously just come down recently. We did have a storm the other night. It might have come down then. Like I say, I haven't been back for so long. It's a job to remember, but that certainly wasn't there. Right, I'll keep wandering round. Right, this is the little spot that I favour. Down near the stream. I'll peep over the edge of there for you without falling because it's got slippery. I'm going to set up here somewhere and just have a sit, have a brew. All set up now. I quite like this valley because on the opposite side there, you won't see very well because I'm looking at the sun, but you get quite a bit of deer moving through there. And being this side of the valley, you can watch them and they don't necessarily spot you. I've just set up down there I don't need the coverage really. It's not going to rain, but it keeps a bit of the breeze off, although now I've set it up, of course, the wind dropped, and also gives you a bit of coverage from the footpath. Not that there should really be anyone in here, apart from the landowner, but you do get the odd sneaky walker. The footpath is just the other side of them skinny trees. So, yeah, just put up a little bit of coverage. I can have my coffee now. Ooh, cheers. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly where I am. With a bit of research, you can probably work it out. But I'm just outside of town in a little village called Crowhurst. I don't mind saying that much because Crowhurst actually covers a very large area with lots of woodland. But the interesting thing, or at least for me, or anyone else that likes history, is the history of this actual location. Now, anybody that's into their history will know of the Battle of Hastings, 1066, when the Normans came over and invaded and took over. One of the very few times the French actually beat us. But when you see how the history is portrayed, especially by the likes of English Heritage and so on, and the battle supposedly took place at Battle, what's now the town of Battle. But there's always been some dispute about that in, you know, the historic community. There is evidence that it wasn't at Battle. It was here. Because when you look back through the chronicles of the time, apparently an awful lot of the Norman cavalry got slaughtered in a deep ditch or ravine. The horses just, you know, were no good there, and that once they dropped down in, they were sort of trapped. And around the supposed battle site, there is no ditch or ravine. It's open ground. Here, running through there, east to west, is a very deep ravine that runs probably a mile. And there is other evidence in the area. Some of the local historians think this is actually the battle site. Not spot on here, but more or less the fields where I filmed on the little track walking in. Is it? I don't know. But when you look at the ground around here, the way it's, you know, the topography, just the general lie of the land, and then look closely at the history of the time, it does all match up. More so than the official location. It always makes me wonder whenever I come here and sit looking across this little valley, ravine, whatever you'd like to call it. Is this the place? Could there be ghosts of hundreds of Norman horsemen? I don't know. It's quite a cool thought though. come across to the eastern end of the wood, though it does continue a bit, but the main side of it, shall we say. And it's also where the deep ravine finishes. So I'll go to the very end of it in a minute, and then I can show you along it, if that makes sense. I think it does. See you in a bit. Right, I'll just walk up and around that bit and then drop down. Not quite how well you can make that out. There's like a dam almost. I thought it's not holding back water, but there is a big brick, concrete, whatever wall there. I'll go down there and I'll take some photos and whatever from the top of that, looking along the valley. That's looking back through the valley where I set up and have my cup of coffee. It's probably a quarter of a mile, maybe half a mile further on down through there. And as you can probably see here, I mean the sides are quite steep here, but the further you go to the west down through there, it just gets steeper and steeper till it's not quite vertical but pretty near. And that's where they reckon the Norman cavalry got caught out. Who knows? Who really knows? After hundreds of years of teaching the history the way it's set at the moment, I'm sure that there'll be people with a vested interest, like English heritage and so on, won't want to change their position, shall I say, now, after many, many years of charging visitors to go to the area they call the battle site, only to then move and say, oh, sorry, we were wrong. So I'm not sure this will ever be recognised officially, but there is a growing movement of historians that think this location, as part of the battlefield and the fields where I was walking in, are the more likely location. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that little wander, little chat, little bit of history. And most of all, I hope this bit's in shot, because I'm looking right at the sun and I can't even see the screen. So this is a bit of guesswork. So I'm sorry if I'm a little bit all over the place. Back to the track, just walk back to the car. Few conclusions from today. One, nothing's really changed in there, which is nice. No rubbish or anything like that. Considerably more boggy. I should have definitely worn my riggers rather than my walking shoes, because I now have wet feet. But overall, it's been worth it. It's been a nice morning out, nice little wander, and the sun is shining. After the last few days, couldn't ask for more really. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Oh, bit of a side issue. If you like the history stuff, just let me know. I wouldn't say I'm a historian, but I do have a lot of interest in local history, and I know a little bit. So if you want to know more, just give me a shout. Thank you.